everybody, and welcome to Fight and Focus Ring of Honor Best in the World. I'm Josh Shernoff, and today I sit down with a who's who of Ring of Honor stars ahead of this Sunday's Ring of Honor Best in the World event. All right, let's meet our guests for today. First, she is a member of the Ring of Honor Board of Directors and a manager of many, many champions. Please welcome Maria Kanellis Bennett. Maria, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, how are you?
I am well. I'm doing great because I have all three of you. The next one up here is the challenger for the Ring of Honor Pure title this Sunday at Best in the World. Mike Bennett is here. Mike, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Woody is also here, as you can tell.
Excellent. Hey, he's looking over your shoulder, but only because he's got
ready.
your back. And this is where it gets interesting, because joining the challenger is the champion. The Ring of Honor Pure champion, the Octopus, Jonathan Gresham, is here. Jonathan, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Now, before we talk about, obviously, the match the two of you are going to have and everything else, I just want to talk about perhaps the biggest part of this event isn't even happening inside the ring. It's happening around the ring, in the arena. This is the first Ring of Honor event in over a year to have a live audience. What does that mean to all of you? Maria, we'll start with you.
It's incredible. I mean, to have that energy back, the Ring of Honor fans have always been, they are a part of the energy of the matches and of the show. So to have that back is going to be awesome. I'm going to forget everything I'm supposed to say because I'm going to be so excited that there will be actual people out there. So, yeah, it'll be an amazing evening.
Now, Mike, how about you? How are you feeling knowing that you're going to be in front of a crowd the first time in a long time?
Yeah, there's nothing, you can't compare anything to what a live crowd feels like, especially as a wrestler and as a performer. It's your lifeblood. It's your motivation. It gets you going. It takes away pain. And I'm sure anyone that's ever stepped foot in the ring can tell you what we do hurts an incredible amount. But when you have people screaming at you, when you have people yelling at you, when you have people rooting for you and cheering you on, it takes you to that next level. And it's just, as a performer, as a wrestler, there's literally nothing like it in the world.
And Jonathan, obviously you've had some highlights of your career in a time where there's nobody there to watch it. How are you feeling about being able to be back and do your thing in front of a live audience?
To be honest, man, I'm really stoked. For the main reason is I always dreamed about, being a part of Ring of Honor. It was my motivation. It's what pretty much I had tunnel vision to get here. It's what just kept me from ruining my life with other things. And I've surpassed what I envisioned for myself, just becoming a part of the company, to being a pure champion. And I'm really stoked because the return show with fans actually marks my first defense in front of actual audience, So I'm really stoked about that more than anything else, to be honest, because the pure division being back is something that, I pushed for a very long time, and it materializing in front of my eyes, and now we're going to present it in front of a live audience. I mean, I'm really just overly stoked for it, man, and I'm really looking forward to, being in front of a live crowd again. I really haven't been in front of a Ring of Honor live crowd in like a year. So they're really different from independent wrestling, man. So I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Now, you talk about your first defense of the title in front of people. Kind of makes you wonder whether or not, is that excitement going to help you, or is it going to be a little different than all the other title defenses you've had? We'll have to find whoever it is that you're facing and talk to him about it. Oh, here he is. Mike, what for you? And then I actually wanted to talk about some other stuff before we really talked about your match. But, on the same page as Jonathan talking about this, you're going in for this big opportunity to win this singles championship in front of a crowd. So you have the nerves that would be there for any athlete going in for such a big match. But on top of that, there's this energy from the audience. Do you think that, you mentioned it being, the lifeblood of a wrestler, but do you think that it could almost become distracting in a way, since you've gotten so used to now working in front of nobody?
Yeah, I think there's a level to that, and it's a Ring of Honor crowd. And if anyone is familiar with my history with Ring of Honor crowds, they haven't always been the most accepting of me and my career in this company. I'm a different person than I was back then, but I'm also slightly similar. So there's no telling on how they're going to react. And going in there with someone like Gresham, who they've clearly taken a liking to, he's clearly revised an entire division that didn't even exist when I was in the company. It's going to be interesting for me. It could motivate me, or it very well could be a distraction. I honest, and I think that's the part I'm most excited about. I have no idea what to expect. They could boo me out of the building, or they could be completely. I haven't been in front of a Ring of Honor crowd since I've returned to the company. So this is the first time they're going to see me. They're going to react, and going against a guy like Jonathan Gresham, who, like I said, has revitalized this division and has kind of kept this company afloat during the pandemic. He might be their savior, and I might be the guy that's trying to knock the savior off the mountain. So I could be the villain in all this. I really have no idea how they're going to take to me.
It's really interesting. And I mean, I know it's on paper. I see it. I know the dates of when you came back to the company and when the fans left the company. But it's amazing, just like when you say it out loud, to actually realize how long it has been. Because it feels, at least to me as a fan watching, it feels like you've been back in the fold for a long time now. And it's unbelievable to be able to see what it is that everybody on this show is going to be able to the energy in the locker room and the energy in the crowd is just going to be so much when it gets together. This is a can't miss event, and not just because I'm here to sell it to people, but legitimately this is, to see something like that is just, you're going to be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel it through your screen, wherever you choose to watch it on FITE TV. Maria, before we jump back into talking about the Pure Championship and that division, I wanted to talk to you about maybe getting a little update on the women's division and what information we're going to have coming up on this and where it stands.
It's been a really incredible ride. I mean, every week on Women's Division Wednesday on YouTube, we've been able to award these tickets to gold, which is an opportunity to be a part of this Quest for Gold tournament. And we're winding it down. We're getting very close to having all of the competitors in place. And on the pay-per-view, we will be revealing those brackets. And so now everyone will get the first opportunity, this first chance to see who they're facing, and the matchups for the fans is going to be really fun.
Yeah, who they're facing is important, because you might know who's going to be in there, but it's really those matchups that really make you start going, okay. Like if you're, March Madness, if you're looking, I'm thinking of like a big tournament. If you look at that, it's not always about they're the best team. It's like, well, all right, who are they facing in that first round? Where do they sit on the bracket? Because that could, depend on who's going to win. Gentlemen, I want to talk about the Pure division. For those who are watching this who aren't familiar with the rules, would you guys be able to just kind of give a brief understanding of what makes the Pure division different from the other matches that you would see in Ring of Honor?
I'll let
we'll let the current champion.
Let him take it, please.
To me, it's really funny to have to say it like this, but Pure Rules to me is basically a twist on the original rules of professional wrestling. Wrestling is exactly what it's called. It's wrestling, but modern day wrestling has gotten somewhat of a fight or a spectacle of two guys fighting, when the essence of professional wrestling is grappling. That's what it is. And to me, Pure Wrestling brings it back to its roots. As far as there's no punches. You get one. After that, you can't use them. Other companies all around the world, guys, are throwing punches. And it makes me sick to my gut to continue to see this happening in my industry, in my sport. So Pure Wrestling being back is just bringing everyone back to the way wrestling is supposed to be. So what makes it different is rules. What makes it unique is rules. Because now the wrestling industry is lawless. There's no rules anywhere in the wrestling business except for in Ring of Honor and in the Pure division.
You mentioned, you said my business, showing the ownership you take in professional wrestling. And I think that speaks to, what you've been able to accomplish, especially in a division like the pure division.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody truly loves something, they wouldn't continue to break it down and destroy it. They would add to it to build it up. So some people say that they love this business. Some people say that they love professional wrestling. But do they really love it? Because if they did, they would add to it. They would build it up, and they would make sure others do the same. That's just my opinion.
I wanted to read something to all of you from Mike Johnson wrote this about your match, and I was reviewing it, and I thought it was it's really interesting the way he kind of looks at how things could go. He writes, over the last year, Gresham has risen to the pinnacle of the Pure Rules division, proving time and time again that there is no competitor whose riddle he can't solve like a Rubik's Cube master inside the ring. If Mike Bennett can decipher the mystery of how to outlast and out-wrestle Gresham within the dreamscape of a division that was seemingly built to enhance everything Gresham does best, he'll truly have evolved to the next level as a fighter. If not, Gresham will have lived to add yet another notch to his championship accolades. Mike, what is your takeaway on something like that? Him saying that. He's basically, what he's saying is, Gresham's sitting here at the top. There's nobody in the world who does this style, this pure style, better than him. All the pressure's on you to figure out how to keep him from figuring out what your game plan is, essentially. What do you say going into this?
I mean, he's not wrong,
Sure.
If you look at everything he said, if you look at any sport, if you look at football, someone's going to knock Tom Brady off, right? Mm-hmm. Someone had to knock Michael Jordan off, right? Someone had to knock Babe Ruth off. Someone had to knock Wayne Gretzky off. At a certain point, they have to get knocked off. And it's just a matter of when that time comes and when that moment is. I don't know if my game plan is to figure out Jonathan Gresham as it is to not let him figure out me. And I think that is the biggest plan, because I've said for a long time, and I will continue to say this regardless. I'll say it to his face. I'll say it behind his back. He is the best wrestler in the world right now. And that is why I want to be in the ring with him. I have respect for him, regardless of whether he has respect for me or not. I've done a lot of shady things in my past. I have a shady history. The Kingdom didn't do the best things before. The Kingdom still sometimes doesn't do the best things before. But I am a different human. I've grown, I've learned, I've overcome things that many people in this world haven't had the, I don't want to say opportunity, but haven't had to overcome. And that is the biggest difference, I think, between me and Jonathan Gresham, is that he's going into there sitting on the top of the mountain and he has everything to lose. I'm going in there already having lost everything, and I have nothing to lose. So if there's ever anyone that needs to knock someone off the perch, I think I'm the perfect person for it.
Jonathan, what do you have to say about that?
He's right. Somebody does have to knock off the greatest or whatever. See, I don't consider myself as the greatest wrestler in the world. I believe the Ring of Honor champion can only take claim to that. I am the best pure professional wrestler in the world. So something that I don't think Bennett understands is that I'm not fighting to prove anything. I'm not fighting this war to restore honor for me. I'm doing this for people like men and women around the world who view this business and this sport the way that I do. I can't tell you how many people I've come across with my travels around the world, doing seminars, being at shows, talking to younger talent, established talent, and getting to know them and finding out that they're not actually being who they want to be. They're being who they feel the fans want to see. They're being who they feel promoters want to book. And what they do in the ring is not what they truly love about professional wrestling. What I do in the ring, every match, is what I love about professional wrestling. And a lot of guys aren't getting that opportunity. So what I'm fighting for is not myself. I'm fighting for those men and women all around the world that consider themselves pure professional wrestlers. That pushes me more than anything I can do for myself. So it's going to be hard to beat someone that's fighting for so many people that are behind you. So you're not just fighting me, Bennett. You're fighting pure wrestlers all around the world. That's something that you need to keep in mind.
Now, Maria, you've been sitting here watching this. You're in no way biased in this match. But looking at this from an outsider, because and you possibly have one of the most interesting viewpoints of this. You know, you, like everybody else, you've watched Jonathan Gresham and you know what he is capable of. But I can't think of anybody out there who knows what makes Mike Bennett tick more than you. So when you're looking at this match, what are you most looking forward to about it? What are you, I mean, it seems silly to say, who do you think's going to win? You know, I mean, I think we know who you're rooting for, but what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts. You know, I think that both men are fighting for the exact same thing. They just don't realize it. I think both of them have seen a ton of adversity in different ways in this industry. And what my husband is fighting for, and sometimes I don't think he realizes what he's fighting for, is he wants respect. And he wants it not just from Jonathan Gresham, but he wants it from the Ring of Honor fans and from fans all over the world, because he's been pushed down, he's been pushed aside, he's been called a joke. And that motivates someone. It motivates him a lot. And I also know that he has a lot of regret for not fighting for wrestling in his past and just fighting for sometimes the goofiness and the sports entertainmentness of this industry. Now, Gresham has his feet under him. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's been doing this for a while now. He's a fantastic champion. And so to have that confidence of knowing their way around the ring, and I love the way that it was put of unriddling the riddle of Jonathan Gresham. So I think that the both of them, not knowing it, are fighting for the same thing. And that is going to be a very interesting wrestling match.
That pretty much makes it's anybody's game at this point.
Should I be biased towards my husband? Should I do that?
No, I appreciate what you said there. And then I think we all know, you know, who you're rooting for. But no, I
also know what makes him tick, and I've never been one to blow smoke up his butt, because that really does him no favors. So I'm going to be watching it like anybody else at the edge of my seat, and very excited to see the winner of the match.
Well, let's talk about some of the other matches that we have on this card, because while, you know, this pure title match between the two of you is enough for anybody to want to go and watch this on FITE TV on July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I have to plug it every once in a while. I have to get that in there. But let's talk about some of the other matches on here. We'll kind of just go around the horn here, and Maria, I guess we'll start with you. We have a last man standing match. Josh Woods versus Silas Young. Thoughts on this match?
The manly men. Is the fight for the manliest of men in this match? I think it's going to be incredible. It's the student versus the teacher, which is always a fantastic match to watch. It's someone trying to outdo their teacher, their mentor. Using what they've been taught against their teacher. Yeah, really good matchup. Can't wait to see it.
Mike, another match we have going on here, EC3 versus Flip Gordon. You know, we talked about some of the things that you've been through. EC3, I feel like, although, I mean, he's kind of been doing his own thing lately. No. But you guys both kind of went through that same experience of, you know what you're capable of. Everybody knows what you're capable of, yet you were not exactly presented the way that maybe you would see yourself or want to be seen. Look, and Flip Gordon, I mean, here's a guy, you just go back a few years ago. The first time I did a Fight and Focus was for Ring of Honor Best in the World a number of years ago. And I remember Flip Gordon back then, not the same guy that he is today. What are you thinking about this match? Who do you have in this match?
You know, it's funny you asked me about this match because I know both those guys very, very well. I've known Flip since he first started in wrestling, and clearly me and Ethan have quite the history, going back 3-4 years ago, however long ago it was. But EC3 is one of those people that I would never underestimate. Not only because he has this new persona, not only because he's been through some of the same trials and tribulations I've been through, just because of his pure overall talent. I think there's a certain aspect of EC3 that gets lost in translation, where everyone thinks like, oh, he's just the guy that is in really good shape, or oh, he's just the guy that's really good on the microphone. He's a guy that's really good in the ring as well. And I think that's something that's been kind of overlooked in the past. And that's why when he showed up at Ring of Honor, I was so excited, because I thought to myself, oh, I've seen him at other companies, but now I'm curious to see how he's going to stand here, where I truly believe the best wrestling in the world is. And it was kind of like one of those moments where I looked at it as, at one point I went over to his turf, and now he kind of came over to my turf, where I started my career and where I consider home. And it's just one of those things about that guy that I don't know. He's a little bit nuts. And I would never underestimate him. And as good as Flip is, I still think Flip has a lot of learning in the wrestling industry to go, that I think EC3 already has the advantage over him.
Jonathan Gresham, let's talk about Brody King versus Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal, just a cornerstone of this company. What are your thoughts on this match? Yeah, the franchise, absolutely. What are your thoughts on this match? Because Brody King is not anybody to take lightly by any means.
Oh, definitely. You don't want to do that. And I think Lethal's smart enough not to. Now, I've been in the ring with Brody several times over at PWG, and he's probably one of the hardest hitters that I've ever been in the ring with. But I also know Lethal can take a beating. I think Lethal is of course I'm going to say Lethal. He's a part of the foundation, my best friend. But I also think he has something that Brody doesn't have, and that's like high caliber experience, main event situation, championship reigns over him. He's been from company to company. He's always been one of the top guys in those companies. So he understands how to approach a big match like this, how to prepare for a big match like this. So not being biased, I honestly think, my boy Lethal's going to take it.
We, of course, also on the card have a pure championship title match. Jonathan Gresham defending against Mike Bennett. But I feel like we've covered that already here. We're excited for it, of course. But let's talk about the Ring of Honor World Television title match. Champion Tony Deppen versus Dragon Lee. Maria, we'll come back to you on this one. What are your thoughts on this? Does Dragon Lee have what it takes to walk away champion?
I mean, on that big of a stage with the crowd back, with all the fuss, we'll see. I mean, I feel as if as far as championship matches, it's anybody's game on the night of the pay-per-view, because you just don't know. You don't know what you're walking into with the crowd. You don't know what you're walking into with the other person. You don't know how they've trained to get ready for it. I do know it'll be a crazy match, though. One that you're going to be very excited to see.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting, but it's also, when you sit back and you think about what some of these competitors have been able to do, some of the crazy moves that they've been able to do with nobody there. We talked in the beginning about the lifeblood, about the energy that you just get from the audience. It's almost scary to think what some of these people, when they actually have that energy from the crowd after not having it for so long, what kind of insanity they're going to pull out in their matches.
Yeah.
I want to hear from all three of you for the world title match here. Jonathan Gresham had said earlier that he considers the best wrestler in the world to be the Ring of Honor world champion. Best pure wrestler, of course.
This guy, I don't believe Rush is. Let's just get that out of the way. Sorry.
So, well said. So, Rush defending the championship against Bandito. So what you're saying is Bandito wins this. He's the best wrestler in the world. Roosh holds on to it. Someone else is still the best wrestler in the world.
Exactly. That's where we're going with that.
Okay, fair enough. Who do you think walks out champion?
Unfortunately, with the way things have been going, I think Roosh is going to leave with the championship again because this is just a situation that we keep falling into. The world would just be, Ring of Honor would be a perfect place if Bandito were to win. And to be honest, I just don't see LFI, Kenny King and Dragon and Bestia allowing that to happen.
Now, Maria,
unfortunately, in the live crowd, we're probably not going to get a clean finish, which also sucks. Sorry.
No, we appreciate your opinion on that. Maria, what do you think about this match? I mean, obviously, Roosh has been champion for quite a while now, and won that title from somebody that you and Mike both know very well. So what are your thoughts on this match? Does Bandito have what it takes to be able to walk out champion here? The crowd behind him and everything, or do you think it's a numbers game? Do you think it's going to be a situation where Roosh is going to figure out how to walk out champion?
Well, I mean, it's always a numbers game as far as that's concerned. But I also believe that both of these men have made deals with the devil and can defy gravity. So no matter what, at the end of the night, I don't think this will be the end.
Okay. And what about you, Mike? What's your prediction for this match?
Well, I mean, considering he beat my best friend in the world for that title, nothing would make me happier than to watch him lose it. I would prefer if he was losing it to Taven or to myself or to someone else. However, I don't know, man. He's proved time and time again not to bet against him. And like Gresham was saying, it's probably not going to be a clean finish. We know that. And unfortunately, that's how he's kept this role of his going. And you hate to see it. And that's kind of why I was alluding to that I think Gresham is the best wrestler in the world. Because if we're talking about wrestling, then we're talking about wrestling. And what Roosh is doing right now isn't representing a wrestling company. He's representing a circus. He's representing sports entertainment, which is not what we're bringing here at Ring of Honor. And so I understand Gresham's frustration. I get it. And nothing would make me happier than to watch that man lose in the middle of the ring. But again, I don't know what to expect when this fan's in the building. You can't predict it. Someone's going to set themselves on fire and jump off the ceiling, for crying out loud, because that's just what happens when there's people, when that adrenaline rushes through you. So I can't make a prediction. My gut tells me somehow, some way, Roosh is going to figure out a way to win, unfortunately.
That's going to be all over the internet now. Mike Bennett confirms somebody will be jumping from the roof on fire. But no,
Jim Cornette.
Yeah, right.
Call from the building.
Right up his alley. I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, yep. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I didn't actually have that, but he'll want to talk about that match a little bit as well, because I didn't have that on my sheet here, but I know that's been announced. It's PCO and Danhausen, correct?
Yeah,
my wrestler, Danhausen, my favorite wrestler. Yes. Sorry, Mike. My favorite.
He is, yeah, it's very nice, very evil.
Very evil.
Now this card is Danhausen doesn't necessarily have that pure style of wrestling that maybe we were talking about earlier, but entertaining nonetheless.
Quite possibly talk me into submission. I never want to wrestle.
Well, there you go. So this event, this is stacked. I appreciate all of you talking to me about it and talking to everybody watching. Ring of Honor presents Best in the World live on FITE, Sunday, July 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to Maria, Mike, Jonathan so much. Maria even cut out early. Thank you guys for being here. And thank you to everybody. You know what? She's back.
Oh.
Here she is. Maria left us just for a second.
I'm going to run across the hall, but I thought maybe I would try this
log
one
back
more time.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Jonathan, for being here. and talking about this. Best of luck to everybody at Best in the World. And thank all of you for watching us here on Fight and Focus. Ring of Honor presents Best in the World live on FITE Sunday, July 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, I'm Josh Shernoff. This has been Fight and Focus. Now Mike is out. I think he's going to just run. You're going to see him. He's going to be there in a second. He's going to be there right with you. We will see you July 11th. I want to stall to see if he's just coming back in.
Coming back. Right.
Yeah, right. There's internet issues over at the Bennett household here.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's because so many things are attached all at the same time that we lose the internet. So I reattached to my phone. But
you know what? We're wrapping up anyway, so we only have another second. We will thank you again, everybody, for joining us. We will see you July 11th for Ring of Honor Best in the World right here on FITE.